Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Ellen Nick, and today we're going to be going over the 2024 DV lottery instructions. We know we are a little bit late. We told you guys we'll come back and do a specific video on the specific instructions for this year's DV lottery. Thank you for your patience, and we see all of you guys that have been asking us to do it. So here we are. And we'd like to welcome all the new subscribers. If it's your first time here, thank you for clicking our video and watching it, and we hope you find it helpful. Thank you for all our returning subscribers and everyone that's sharing our videos. So if you find this helpful, make sure that you share it with your friends as well, and we'll just go ahead and get started.
Yeah, so we are going to go through the DV 2024 Diversity Immigrant Visa Program instructions, and now that they are released, we are more confident to actually share with you. And we are going to start with the requirements that we'll share the screen so that you're able to see what we are doing. And from this point, you can start with the requirement number 1.
Yeah, so like we had mentioned in the previous video, there is specific countries that are eligible for the DV lottery, and each year they come out with a list of countries that are eligible for that year. So now the list is out, and we had mentioned that how they measure that is, you know, depending on how many people have previously migrated into the US from that country. So we have the list here, and guess what, guys? Kenya is part of that list. Yay! Yeah, so Kenya made it on the list. So if you're from Kenya, you can Kenya by birth, because the eligibility has to be by birth. So if you're born in Kenya, you can go ahead and apply. And all the other countries that are listed, we can put them somewhere on the screen for you guys to check it out if your country is listed. And remember, guys, if you don't qualify by country of birth, you can also qualify through your spouse's country of birth or your parents' country of birth. So those are just things to keep in mind. If their country falls, and you know, if their country is listed on that list, then you can use that for your eligibility.
Yeah, so for requirement number 2, like we said, it's still the same. So if, for instance, you have at least a high school education or its equivalent, defined as a completion of a 12-year course of formal elementary and secondary education, or 2 years of work experience within the past 5 years in an occupation that requires at least 2 years of training experience to perform. The Department of State will use the Department of Labor's ONNET. Remember, in our previous video, we actually shared the link on the ONNET online, so you can also go and check it. So please remember, this is usually to the person who is applying. So the other people who are included in the application, you really don't need to meet this requirement number 2. Yeah. So only to the person applying. You're the one who is mandated to actually abide to all these rules. Now the entry period is open, and it started in what date was this? October 5th. That was last week. Depending on the time you're watching this, it may be a later date, may not be last week, as I'm saying. And it will close November 8th, 2022.
Yeah.
So please do not wait until the last week of registration period, as heavy demand may result in website delays. So when you go into that site, even right now, if you check, we have tried to go into it, and we can see there's a problem. So you can't really go in. So please try and apply as soon as right now. As much as we are talking right now, as when we are done, please go and do it.
Yeah, I think you can go in, but you're not able to submit right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So apart from that, please do not submit more than one entry that is written in the instructions page, because it will disqualify all entries for that person, whoever is applying.
Yeah, so just make sure you're doing just one entry per person. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then so we have to mention at this point that there was no requirement for the passport that was listed on the instructions for the DV 2024. So what that means is you can go ahead and apply even if you don't have a passport right now. They're not requesting that you include any passport details. So that is a good thing, because if you don't have a passport right now, previously you wouldn't be able to apply, but this year you can apply without a passport. So that's good. So there's no vikwazo, there's nothing stopping you from applying. If you don't have a passport, you can still do that, and then later on, because you'll probably need a passport to travel, you can go ahead and look for a passport. But for right now, you can go ahead and apply without one.
Well, despite there not being that requirement, I feel like when you're writing your name, your first, your middle name, and your last name, they should appear as the same way they would actually appear in the passport for you, because when you get the passport eventually and your names are interchanged, your first name is your last name and your last name is your middle name, you'll have an issue. So please make sure that your name and like aligns to the way maybe your ID is right now, because the ID usually has almost the same how do you call it, format, similar to the way the passport is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just keep those things in mind, because we're gonna go through what you actually need to put into what the form entails right here, and we're gonna talk about some things to keep in mind, like your names, your birthday, things like that. So we're gonna just go right into it, right, babe? Okay. So first of all, I don't know if you've mentioned this, but this is electronic entries only. You cannot apply by mail. You cannot apply by any other way, by paper. Some people try to do that. So it's electronic only, and the website to go to is
dvprogram.state.gov.
Yes, so it's dvprogram.
.state.gov.
Yes, so dvprogram.state.gov, and that is the only place to go. So if anyone is trying to give you any other website to go to, then that's not the right website. And this entry is free. We had already mentioned it, but just as a refresher, you don't need to pay any money to put in your application right now, the entry. So that should be free for you.
So we are going to click for you now. When you go to dvprogram.state.gov, as you see on the screen, DV instructions, you can see here. So this is what we were looking at previously. If you click on it, you'll see the instructions that you need. So what we were checking is the PDF version, which is right here. And well, you can read this it's the same thing, only that the PDF version is more direct. So if you click on the instructions, that's what we are actually looking at. If you go to your browser, you'll see the same thing.
Yeah.
And you go through the whole list, the requirements, what we've just said. Then this is where I just clicked. This is where now you go to apply for the green card. And right now, if you remember in our previous video, okay, for the new viewers, we have another video that we did previous to this that we actually explained the whole process step by step.
Right, yeah.
The do and don'ts and such like.
Yeah.
And this particular area was not active. So right now it's active. If you click on it, you first have this authentication code that you have to go through. And for instance, let me just write it.
Yeah.
N94JXD. So this is usually to make sure that you are not a robot, because robots are being used to apply these things and make the system slow. So this is the way the form looked like, and here you enter your name, your family name or your last name, your first name and middle name. If you don't have a middle name, you just do a check right here that you don't have one. If you don't have a first name, which I really doubt, that how do you not have a first name?
Some people don't.
So then you choose your gender, if you're male or female. So these are radio buttons. If you choose one, it actually deactivates the other side. So yeah, it moves. So you can't be male and female at the same time.
Yeah. So for when you're filling out the names, just be careful. I know we are used to starting with your first name and your last name. So when you're doing it, just read the instructions and put in the right name in the right place. Because when you now get your passport, and the names, it becomes a little bit confusing. Same as the birthday, which is what I was going to talk about next. Like here in the US, they start with the month, then the date, then the year. In Kenya, we are used to the other way around. We start with the date, then the month, then the year. So
I believe that's Kenya, UK, and most of the countries on the east side.
Right.
Is it east or east side of the world?
This is western side, so the east side of the world. Yeah, so if you're from other countries, just be careful to make sure that you're putting in the right place, especially if your day is between 1 and 12, because the month, there's no month 13, right?
Oh
yeah. So if your birthday falls between 1 and 12, you're more likely to make a mistake when you're putting in the dates and put it inverted. And sometimes that brings an issue, because your passport will probably have the date the way that you're used to. And then now if you put it inverted this way, it gives you a different birthday altogether. So be careful with that. Make sure you're reading what should go where.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the city where you were born. We had a question about what city to put in. I think you can just put in the closest city to where you were born. How many cities are there in Kenya? Because someone was saying there's only like 4 cities. Is that true?
Honestly, we have 3 cities. We have Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kisumu.
What about Nakuru?
I don't know. Oh, I think it was. I don't know, my friend. Is Nakuru a city? So enter the birth city, and they say do not enter district, county, or province or state. I
think the safest thing to do, if you're not sure, is just say birth city unknown. What do you think?
What? How are you? Me honestly, if you asked me, I would still, if I live in Nakuru, I would say Nakuru. If I live in Thika, I would say Thika. It's the biggest town. So they've not said do not enter town. What they've said, do not enter district, county, province, or state. But city, I think I used to write the town that I was born in.
Okay, so a city is a town now?
Because there's no way you'll say, for instance, someone who was born in Mandera, let's say that's now customized to Kenya where we are from, someone from Garissa will say they were born in Nairobi. That's a lie. Garissa, I feel like you just say Garissa because Garissa is the city. If it was to be a city, that would be the city that you're born in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
So birth city, you just write the town, the big town. If you are born somewhere in Ruiru, you say Kiambu. Kiambu is a district, but it's the city. Then the sub counties are usually I don't know, but I feel like that's the right way to do it.
Okay.
You tell us, those who have ever applied, which town or which city did you write? Yeah,
if you've done this before, and I don't think it. Okay.
Because it doesn't really, I feel like it's not really tied that you have to write a city that's recognized in your country as a city. Because if you have only one city, was everyone born in the same city?
No, but I feel like maybe you want to make sure that what you write here is aligned with your birth certificate. Because they do ask for the birth certificate later.
Yeah, because for instance, those who are born in Thika, so let's say you are born somewhere like in Juja, and Juja is the main town is Thika. So I'd rather say the city is Thika and the district is Juja. Juja is smaller. So if you were to have cities in Kenya, I believe Thika would be a city.
Okay.
Because it's the easiest reference, the closest.
Okay.
But still, if you've ever applied for this, just write in the comment section.
Yeah.
We are not saying that everything we say is what should be there.
Yeah, we're just discussing.
Yeah, it may be a mistake that maybe they want us to write Nairobi. All of us were born in the city called Nairobi because it is the only city that's neighboring almost all the counties.
Yeah, so let us know in the comment section, and if you have that question, if you know the answer, put it down for the other people that are looking for the answer. And then country where you were born, so that would be, you know, wherever you were born, if that's Kenya or
Uganda,
wherever.
Tanzania. If it's Morocco, just write Morocco.
Yeah, and then so
there's a drop down, so you choose. I'm sure one of these countries is where you guys are. So you're either in Tunisia, Togo, Vatican, Venezuela, Vietnam, somewhere, right?
Yeah, and then so this is where it comes into play, like, is that the country you're claiming eligibility from? And if so, then, you know, you can say yes. If not, then you can, that's why I was saying earlier, you can use either your spouse's country of birth or your parents' country of birth. So if you say no here, then you can choose whichever other country you're claiming eligibility with, depending on.
I have a question.
Yes, honey.
Since Canada isn't one of the countries where you can apply from, is it here?
No.
So
the country that you're claiming eligibility from has to be eligible.
Yeah, so they've made it easy. I was just asking that to be sure, because maybe a country like Mexico shouldn't be in this list because it's not one of them, or China. So if your country, if you scroll here and you can't see your country, just know it's not eligible.
Yeah, and I think right here, these should be all the countries, right? Because
that are eligible, right?
I think it's all the countries regardless. Like this.
Are you seeing? I can't see China. China shouldn't be here. You see, it's Chile.
China here.
China, People's Republic.
Yeah, this is all the countries because anyone can apply. You can be from Canada. Canada is not eligible, right? But you can be from Canada, and then when you choose Canada, then you say no, that's not the country you're claiming eligibility from. But you have maybe your parent or your spouse was born in Kenya or wherever, then you would be able to click on this is a list of the countries that are eligible.
So where is Canada?
So it's not eligible, so it's not on the list.
Oh, that's why I was asking, is China part of it? Because China, I think, was not part of it.
It's not on this list. This is the list of the eligible countries.
Oh, which one did you click that I saw?
So
China.
this one where you were born, because anyone can apply, like even.
Oh yeah, that's where you clicked.
I went back and clicked that one.
Oh. You're the one who's confusing me.
I'm not confusing you.
So anyway, I was saying, I wanted to say that in this list, they should have removed the countries which are not eligible, because if they say you must enter the country from which you are claiming eligibility, so the countries that are in this list should be the ones that are eligible, which is the case. I didn't see you going back and clicking this.
Yeah, I went back and because you can still apply if you're born in a country that's not eligible, but you have a spouse or a parent who's from a country that's eligible. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess later on you'd have to show, you know, your eligibility, like if someone's your parent or your spouse and that they're from that country, I guess. You
know something I've realized? The way we are saying eligibility, someone may be asking themselves, what do they mean eligibility? If you can just go back, I know we explained in the previous video, but if you could just tell them what we mean by eligibility, like how you can claim, like from either where your parents is, if it's eligible, if you can just explain to the guys.
So I guess eligibility means that you fit the criteria of someone that can be selected for the DV lottery, and like the country of birth is one of the things that qualify you. And so if you're not eligible, so the list that we were showing you guys is the list of the countries that are eligible. So if a country has had immigrants more than like 50,000.
So this is what we are talking about.
Okay. That's what you wanted me to say?
Yeah, like it's exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
That because if you had if you have the natives of your country, they've been, was it 5 years? So in the previous 5 years, we've had more than 50,000 people from the country where you are coming to the US using this program. Then your country is deactivated from being eligible. So like the ones which are listed right here, you can see in this on your screen. So excuse me, we have Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada, China, including Hong Kong, Colombia, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Haiti, or you say Haiti, Honduras, India, Jamaica, Mexico, Nigeria. So if, for instance, I'm from Nigeria and I want to apply for DV lottery, and apparently maybe my dad is Canadian, or my mom is Canadian and I was born in Nigeria, right?
Keep going.
Okay, here I am, born in Nigeria, and now that makes me Nigerian, right? And I apply and I'm not eligible, but my mom, for instance, is Kenyan. So I claim eligibility using my mom's, what do you call it? Country of birth.
Yeah.
Now that's what we are talking about.
Right. Yes, exactly. So I guess that explains.
Yeah, I've explained it and I wanted you to explain it. Anyway.
That's good. That we are a team. So there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what it means for country of eligibility. And so just make sure you're eligible, I guess.
Yeah. So in the form, I think we are still in the form, right?
We were in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I clicked it. There we go.
Yeah. The next thing is your photo. Okay, so this is what we had talked about previously. When we did the previous video, we were like, guys, go get your pictures taken, your spouses, your kids' pictures taken, so that you have these ready to go when you're sitting down to apply, because you want to have everything you need ready. So there's some specifications, and I'll let the IT guy talk about them.
So these are the detailed example of visa photos. So we can start by checking. So you can see on your screen, acceptable photo should be clear and in color, no black and white, reproduces skin tones accurately, and is properly exposed with no shadows. So you shouldn't have any shadows around your face or at the back of the picture. Then so in the shadows, we can just give you an example. You can see the unacceptable, where the photo is underexposed. Then we have one that the color is not accurate. You can see it has like a blue shade.
Yeah, it's like a filter.
Yeah, this is the right one because it's clear and it produces skin tones accurately. And this is what we were talking about when it's unacceptable and the shadows on the face. There's shadows on the face and background. So they really can't tell your tone on that side of the face. So these are the things that they don't accept. Don't wear glasses when taking these pictures.
Yeah.
Make sure you size it. It's at the center. You can see what they actually want. If you're applying, it should be 51 by 51 millimeters or 2 by 2 inches, with the head centered and sized between 1 inch and 4 inches. So there's another detailed how do you call it? There's a detailed explanation if you go to this site. It's still travel.state.gov. You can see the link up here. That's the link. If you enter that link, it will take you to this page.
I wanted to mention this so that people are not confused. For the DV lottery, you cannot be applying in person or by mail. This is just their general instructions on how they want the photo to look like. So don't be confused by that.
So I'll go quickly. So we have the acceptable photo should be sharp without any visible pixels and printer dots. So the printer that they are printing with should be very clear, like clear and precise. Because most of these pictures we take the physical picture. Usually you don't send them there. You remember, even if you apply, when you're going for the interview, you have to go with the same exact picture that you took.
Oh, really?
Because that's what they are going to put on your...
Oh,
I don't know. Okay. So the acceptable pose, you should face the camera with neutral expression. Please do not wear head clothing that covers part of the face. But remember, this is still acceptable if you wear it correctly, since this is a religious attire that you wear everywhere. So the only thing they are saying is, please don't make it cover part of your face, like your ears, or your ears, like your eyes and your eyebrows. So
you can see the difference between the correct picture and the not correct picture.
Yeah. So even for the babies, because we have to upload at some point the pictures of if you have a baby, if you have, so make sure that the portion, no any portion of the face is not obscured. Same to this. Don't wear things on your neck. Don't wear a hat. Don't put those styles, ladies. So the background should be white, plain, or off-white, and free of shadows. So this is the acceptable picture for children. No other person is in the photo, and the child is facing the camera with his eyes open. Make sure your babies are opening their eyes. You can see this one is underexposed. This is good. Looks like something is taking the attention of this young man here. Don't take the picture with your baby with your hand also like obscuring their face. And you can see this picture is actually very blurry. So you can see also they're acceptable for online renewal application. The customer is directly facing the camera, has a neutral expression, and there's ample space around the customer's head. So they usually want all these pictures to be very clear, because this is what is going to be used to identify you. And one thing with the US, they are really strict with their documentation.
Right.
So if your documentation is not right, they don't really care. They have no feelings. It's out.
Yeah, and one way to help also is if you upload it and it's not the right size, they'll let you know, so it's not gonna go through. And something else that we wanted to give as a tip is, if maybe it's easier if you go get the picture professionally done, you can still take it with your photo, but you don't really know exactly. If you're not very comfortable with the sizing and the pixels and all that, it might be easier to just go have somebody take it for you. But it might also be important for you to get a digital copy sent to your email. So that you're not worrying about how to scan and upload and all of that. If you have it in your email, you can just upload it easily, right?
Yeah. So something else I've just realized, I was checking and I've seen in dv.state.gov, they have a photo tool that is you can use to crop your photo if it's not the right size, and then you compare it with examples of good pictures. So they say it is intended for cropping your photo only when you're applying in person or by mail. Or by mail. Okay. After applying, the US Department of State employee will review your photo and decide if we accept your photo. If you are reviewing, so me personally, this is what I can say. For instance, if you have a photo studio where you live, it's better you go there and take a professional picture that you're sure if they review, it will just match what the requirements are.
Yeah.
So you may spend 100 shillings for Kenyans, because I know that's roughly the amount for passport pictures, between 100 and 150. Go have it professionally done.
Yeah.
Don't take pictures in your bathrooms and like in the walls that you think maybe are whiter than others, and you tell your friend to take a picture and it's not professionally done. Then you miss your chance of changing your life and coming to this land. So please do that. And if you look at the photo tool, I'll just show you how it looks like. So So this is the way it looks like. So you choose a picture, I'm assuming, then it drops here and you can size and position. So they just say, all they do is enable you to crop a picture. And I'm assuming it has dimensions. I'm not going to go into that right now.
Yeah.
So once that is done, there's a part where we have the mailing address.
Yeah, so you need a mailing address, and I think this can be a problem sometimes, maybe in Kenya, because we don't have like addresses like we do here. So just get your closest address to where you live. I don't know how exactly to put an address if you don't have one.
For my country, usually maybe you have usually this is what people do. You can say it be mailed to maybe the school that's next to you because you know the box number, and you are able to go there and take it. Or if you know someone who has a box number, because
PO box.
PO box. In Kenya you have a physical post office, and it has the boxes, and then you go and so, and they have codes. All these things are available. So for instance, in care of, it's optional. So if something is optional and you're not sure, please leave it out.
Yeah, but in care of basically means like someone else that can pick up that mail for you. Yeah.
So in care of now can be that school. Like in care of Kadimaine Primary School.
It should be someone's name. In care of. How are they gonna give it to you? Like someone has to receive the
care
mail.
of that, then they'll write your name. Usually they write care of this guy, but the person who should receive it is below it. Anyway, what we are saying, if you most likely for post office, please make sure you have a trusted post office address that you can put there. Because we have these codes, the postal codes, we have them in Kenya, like 01, 001, like they are there. And after that, country where you live today. So remember, even if you're here in the US, you have the ability to apply for a green card.
Yeah.
And you're here. And you can say your country is Zimbabwe, your country is Kenya, your country is Tanzania. But this is where you are right now. And still get the green card and have the ability to be here legally now, to be able to transact and do everything as any other person.
Right. Yeah, so even if you live here in this country and you don't have like the papers, or you don't have, you know, what you need to be able to do what you want to do, you can still apply for the DV lottery. And you just have to change your status once if you apply for your green card. If you apply for the green card and it gets selected, all you have to do is change your status. So why not do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So make sure you input your email address.
That is very, very important. If you don't have an email address, create one now, and make sure you put it in here, and don't forget it, and don't forget the password. Yeah, so you have to put in the email address and then confirm the email address. The reason they do this is because they want to make sure that you put in the correct email address. So because sometimes you can mistake and miss a letter or a number or something, so they want you to confirm it. The reason this is very important is because it's where you're gonna be sent the confirmation number when the results come out. That's where they're gonna send it, and that's the only place. They don't mail anything to you, they don't communicate any other way. They're just gonna send you the they're gonna send you the confirmation code after you finish this, and then that's the code that you use to check later on when the results come out. You understand? Did I say that correctly?
Yep. And usually it happens immediately. So the moment you're done, the confirmation number comes down to your email.
Yeah.
So for those who will be applying, maybe for your parents who maybe are not very conversant, maybe with emails and everything, make sure if you are creating a new email for whoever you are going to apply for, because I'm sure there are people who will be applying for their parents, for their uncles, for their aunties, make sure you remember that email. Because some of them don't even know where it is. Make sure you remember the email and the password, and be open to give it to them if they win, please. Yes.
Yeah. And if somebody is applying for you, you can give them your email, but don't give them the password.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you have the confirmation
because
code.
your confirmation will be sent to your email. If you give them the email and the password, then they have access to that information. And I mean, generally don't give out your passwords.
Then again, if you read the instructions on this DV lottery, they try to make sure that you are the one who actually applies and be actively involved in everything that whoever is helping you like apply is doing, so that let them not do a mistake. Even if it's a letter, let them not even mistake even the name of your town. Because if you win and now you go for the interview and they ask you what's the name of your town, and then you say maybe it's Loreto, and whoever wrote it maybe said Lireto because O and I are next to each other on the keyboard, so they ask you, no, we see here you wrote Lireto and it's not the same on your documents. That may be a reason for you to be disqualified. So please make sure whoever is signing it up for you or applying for you is there, you are present with them and is writing the right thing that is like your information, right?
Right. Yeah, if you're watching this, you're probably savvy enough to do this for yourself. It's not hard. You just need your information and the information of the people you're going to be including, and you should have that available to you. If you really need help, that's okay, but just make sure that you're right there to confirm everything before it's submitted, especially sensitive things like your birthday, your name, all the things that need to be done correctly are done correctly. And then because you only get one chance to, like, if that person says, oh wait, you said your first name is Kamau, oh my gosh, I wrote Kamai, and I mean, you don't have another chance to apply again. Like, you only get one opportunity, so you have to make sure it's done correctly. Yeah. And then so after the email, you just input your highest level of education. And so here, if you have high school certificate, if you did your KCSE, I guess, then you can say high school degree, right?
Yeah,
because there's high school no degree, meaning you didn't finish high school or you didn't qualify, you didn't complete your high school education. But if you have completed your high school education, if you did, and that's your highest level, you can say high school degree. And then if it's any more than that, you can choose whichever one you are. But at least this should be the least one that you pick, if that's true for you.
Just realize this option, high school degree, someone might be like, maybe in your country they don't even call it degree.
Yeah, like even in Kenya, it's not called a degree.
No, it's just a certificate.
It's a certificate. But like,
at least if you've gone to school, you'll know what high school degree, what it might mean. And university degree, that's a different option. Because I'm assuming someone, if you're doing it very fast, you may just say high school degree. You may think you did high school and you have a degree, and not choose university degree. If you're doing it very hastily, just choosing very quickly. And make sure you input the correct level of education that you have and you have achieved, right? Because if you've just done, you've gone to school all the way till you've done your high school, please just include high school. Don't lie that you have a degree. Still, high school qualifies you to apply for this, right?
What do you mean? So if it's just if you did high school and you didn't complete?
No, you now that you didn't do it.
So what does high school no degree and high school degree, what's the difference?
I'm assuming if you did high school and you didn't graduate, you didn't get the certificate, maybe you did it all the way till Form 4, but you didn't do the final exam, you should just write it no degree.
Okay, then that means you won't qualify, because the qualification, one of the requirements is completion of high school education.
I think this is also part of the ways of them catching people who have not done what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
Because if you write primary school only, you've disqualified yourself.
Yeah,
if you are the applicant.
Right, but there's also the other part of where you can qualify by work experience. So you can still say, let's say you just did primary school, right? And then, in the last 2 years, in the last 5 years, you've done at least 2 years of work in a occupation that requires at least 2 years of training. The one we were talking about earlier, you can also qualify by that.
That's true.
Yeah. So even if you don't have any degree here and you have some work experience, that qualifies. If you go to that ONET website, you can search if your occupation qualifies. If it does, then you can qualify. If not, and you don't have a high school, you did not complete your high school, then unfortunately you don't qualify to apply for this.
So in short, what she's saying, everything you choose here still qualifies you as long as you meet the requirement for work. It may be, maybe for instance, our parents, maybe they went to school all the way till primary, but they were able to do training for other things and able to get more than 10 years of experience. If you put it there, maybe you have over 10 years and it goes beyond the 2-year experience that is required, you're in.
As long as it falls under the occupation. So in that, I don't know if we want to get too much into that, but if you go to the ONET online, the requirement is that your job, the occupation that you want to qualify with, has a grade of like a 7 or 8 or higher. Okay, so if you have an occupation, so here, job family, you look, let's say you're doing architecture and engineering, so you browse there, and then these are all the options of the occupations that are there. If you look, let's just click the first one. This is just random, by the way, but if you come down here, it tells you what your job, what your SVP range is. It's 1 to 2 years of preparation, and that is a 6.0 to 7.0. So they want your job to fall under 7 and 8 or above. So this is 1 to 2 years of preparation, so that wouldn't qualify. If you go to the next one, let's see if this one qualifies. Aerospace engineers. If you go all the way down, you see this one requires 2 to 4 years of preparation. So that's between 7 and 8. This is the number that they look at. They want it to be above a 7. So
that's what they say.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's how you check. So if you go in there, you look at work, whatever it was at the beginning, job family, then you can browse. Let's look at another one. Let's do maybe healthcare practitioners and technical. Go. Okay, acupuncturists, the first one right here. So if you scroll at the bottom, then you see experience requirement, SVP range, over 4 years of a preparation. So that's an 8 and above. So that will qualify you. Okay.
That's very confusing.
It's not okay. It can be a little bit confusing, but you want to know if you.
But how can you be an acupuncturist and you've not gone to school?
But you have. It requires you 4 years. If you are already an acupuncturist, it means you already have done 4 years of education.
Oh, so I thought you were coming to ONET online to check for people. If, for instance, I didn't finish my high school and I did another work without even the qualification for more than 2 years, if that qualifies in this list.
No, so if you see the instructions, what it says is it is either high school, successful completion, or 2 years of work experience within the past 5 years in an occupation that requires at least 2 years of training or experience to perform. So this work, it's not any work. It's not just because you have experience as a tailor for 10 years that will not qualify you, probably because, I mean, we can look into the ONET and put that in there.
It's fine.
But like, so whatever you are, like if you work as a, where was I? Okay. So you put in your whatever your occupation is, you look for it here, and then that's how you can see if it qualifies or not, if it's a 7 or higher. And they say how many years of education you need according to the American standards, I guess.
Can you write IT? I'm very interested.
Let's see, let's find it.
Technology.
Where is it? Transportation, blah blah blah. Computer and mathematical, I guess. Let's go and find that. So information technology, information security, information technology project managers. Can we look at that? So if you click in there, you're gonna see, and you scroll down to job zone, you see that would qualify because it needs 2 to 4 years of preparation. It's above a 7, so 7 to 8. So that an occupation like this, if you've done it for 2 years within the last 5 years, would qualify you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think some of these jobs are very hard to have if you don't have a high school degree, because how did you even go into the 2 years and 4
honestly
years? Yeah, so
if you have a high school certificate, I think specifically for Kenyans or for Africans, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. So if you're a mathematician, you can come here and see, your job zone over 4 years of preparation, above an 8. So that's how you guys can check whether your occupation qualifies you. Yeah.
For the person who's applying, this is very important because we know of people who have gotten this lottery and the green card. Then the point where it comes for you to do the interview, you realize the person who was applying maybe didn't have a high school certificate. And it ends up you guys losing the chance just simply because of that.
Yeah. So if you're applying, and also another thing to remember, like I think you had mentioned before, this qualification is only for the primary person that applies. So if you know one of you qualifies and the other doesn't, then the person that qualifies should be the one to apply for everybody else, because everybody else doesn't necessarily need to have these qualifications. They'll just come under the umbrella of the other person.
Yeah, and this anybody else should not be just anybody else, should either be your parent and you should be under 21 years if you want someone to apply on your behalf.
Oh, or your spouse.
Yeah. For instance, if you're married, please, not boyfriend. No boyfriend in this case. So if someone is your boyfriend and they apply, please also apply on your side and make sure you
apply for yourself.
Apply for yourself, because if they get it, you just know it's and you don't get it, you'll remain and they will go.
Yeah, but I guess you can get married before the actual
then you start a new application for
I mean, after they win, you can get married in between, and when it's time to apply for the green card, because I think they give you an opportunity of like, is there anyone else you want to include, and if you've been married and maybe you had a baby now, like you have
because guys, it takes 2 years. Within 2 years so many things may have happened. You can
just like sit there and be like, oh, now I can't get married, I can't have a baby because I'm waiting for this green card. Your life continues. But they do give you opportunity to include if your family has expanded.
Now you see, the problem is some people will now start acting like eagles.
What do you mean acting like eagles?
looking for those who have won and marrying them.
Well, if you're looked for and found,
Anyway,
then take your little eagles to wherever
back
you're
to what
going.
we are doing.
Anyways, so the next one will be what we're talking about, the marital status. So if you're not married, if it's boyfriend, if it's fiance, unmarried, and then you can be married, and your spouse is not a US citizen, married and your spouse is a US citizen or US permanent resident. All the options are over there. So you pick whichever one applies to you. If you intend to be married, you're still unmarried until you get married, right? And then the last thing here should be number of children. So however many kids you have, you include them, and you should include your kids if they're under 21 and unmarried. So if someone's married and over 21 or over 21, you shouldn't include them. And these should be all your biological children, legally adopted children, and stepchildren. And if you don't include them, that is grounds for disqualification.
Seems like they have a way of knowing these kids are yours and you've not listed them, because they have access to records from different countries. Yeah.
Yeah.
So include all your children, all of them.
Yeah, unless they are over 21 or married.
Even stepchildren.
Yeah.
For instance, if you adopted any of those kids, include them.
Yep.
They're yours.
Oh, yep. Yeah, so that's it, guys. And so that's all the information you need to fill in your DV lottery. Let us know if you have any questions below, and then I think we'll be coming back to do are we doing that?
Maybe we'll do it if we are able to.
Yeah.
Because again, this system is not ours. Sometimes we may try to maybe log in, and if it refuses for everyone, including us. Because so many people are trying to apply at the same time, so sometimes the system may have a lag or something.
Yeah, so let us know what questions you have, what issues you're having, and then we'll address them either in the comment section or we'll do another video.
Yes, and we hope, guys, you win it. Whoever is watching this, hope you win. And please inform someone who may require, because we know someone who really wants to get out of the country and get maybe better employment opportunities, especially those who have gone to school and they're just sitting out there and they want something different. Please share this with someone. Let them start applying, because the application date ends on the 8th of November.
Yes, just a few more weeks left. And excuse me, guys, everyone has equal opportunity to be selected. There is no one has a higher chance of the other one getting selected. So tell all your friends, tell all your family members to do it, because anyone can get it. And the more people that apply in your circle, the more chances of someone that you know getting it, or yourself getting it. So share our video with everyone that you think might benefit from this information. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And please like the video, it helps us a great deal. Share our videos with your friends, and we shall see you in the next video.
Yep. Peace
Out. So like, share, and subscribe, guys, and watch out for our next video. Love you.